Hi, my name is Akabi Ibrahim, and today I'll be working on a case study in cybersecurity failures and recovery. My topic is about Robin Hood ransomware attack on Baltimore 2019. Let's dive into it. In in May 2019, Baltimore became a victim of um, the Robin Hood ransomware, um, basically causing about $80 million in damage and crippling government services. Um, this malware locked the information contained in the city systems, demanded payment to restore access. The manipulator did not comply with the ransom demand, a move that was both lauded and banned. This caused an aggregated damage of more than $18 million, which includes lost revenue from IT recovery expenses. In this presentation, we'll talk about the attack, its representations, how how reacted to it, and what conclusions we can take from it, and basically what we can learn from it. Now, let's talk about the cause of the attack. One could have been phasing attacks. Phasing attacks could be the attackers gained access to a Baltimore system, while the exact method was never officially disclosed. Ransomware often enters systems through phishing emails with malicious attachments or links to unpatched software or exploits. Exploits of known vulnerabilities in unpatched systems, etc. Um, Internet Blue vulnerability in SMBU, previously used in WannaCry. Um, it could have also been weak passwords, such as that. Um, could have been weak passwords. It could have been poor network segmentation. It could have been privilege escalation. Um, the first step in the attack process was probably a phasing email. The city has systems with stall and patch software, which enables attackers to leverage conveniently um, accessible exploits. Also, inadequate internal security measures such as weak passwords and absence of multi-factor authentication contributed significantly. Um, the attackers were able to move across Baltimore systems easily because the city lacked a strong network segmentation. This allowed the ransom to spread laterally. Um, The the ransom spread laterally across the city's network. It affected critical city systems, affecting services and user machines. Files encrypted. You can name it. Meaning that everything that the city would be able to use, it affected. They could not use it anymore. They had to stop it. They could not get access to city records. No one could pay their phone bills. All that kind of stuff. Um, yeah. Impact on city services, email, communication down, property transactions, residents unable to pay bills, $8 million in lost revenue, $10 million in recovery cost. Emails were locked out of email. Basically, employees were locked out of emails. City departments were unable to communicate. Um, Basically, residents were unable to pay for the property taxes, water bills, or even parking tickets online. The city and local economy suffered as real estate closures were delayed due to inaccessibility of property records. Baltimore lost around $8 million in revenue and were forced to spread approximately 8 million in revenue, um, 10 million in recovery costs, which included rebuilding IT systems from the ground up. So they had to spend about $10 million just to basically rebuild their whole network system, which is absolutely crazy. Investigation and attribution. Attackers not identified, likely financially motivated, similar to other manipulation and ransomware incidents. But the culprits of the attack were never found, despite an investigation carried out by the FBI along with the cybersecurity specialists. Evidence suggests the work of financially motivated criminals rather than a nation-state. This attack followed a pattern spearheaded by local governments for becoming the punching bag for weak cybersecurity. Other cities like Atlanta, parts of the U.S., were becoming favorite targets. These incidents highlight cyber attack don't require sophisticated tools, just poorly safeguarded defenses, meaning that if your network system is very poor, it's very easy to get into. Baltimore's response refused to pay ransom. Damage of the estimated ransom would be far less than the cost incurred, but Baltimore resourcefully stated they will not pay. Manual IT recovery. They decided on the ethical approach. They do not wish to finance illegal activity. FBI and DHS assistance. Self-service was a more expensive and time-consuming option than other IT recovery process, so they chose manual IT recovery. Implemented MFA updates and training. They began monitoring the FBI and Department of Homeland Security to make sure that so they don't have to basically pay these illegals, and so that they can basically recover the system in the best way possible. Lessons learned. Enforce MFA. Baltimore's case teaches us that prevention is always better and cheaper than recovery. First, all organizations, especially public ones, should enforce multi-factor authentication. Second, systems should be patched regularly to close known vulnerabilities. Third, maintain security offline backups. If Baltimore had clean backups, recovery would have been faster and cheaper. It wouldn't have costed them $10 million just to recover their system. Fourth, employees must be trained regularly to recognize phasing, meaning that they don't have to click on links that are sent or emails that are sent that they don't know about. Finally, every organization needs a tested incident response plan, knowing what to do before an attack hits can limit damage, meaning that an attack or a trained lesson should be enforced every once in a while to basically make sure that their system works. Conclusion. The Robin Hood ransom attack exposed the real cost of unpredictability, financially and socially. Baltimore's refusal to pay the ransom made a statement, but it also lengthened the crisis. This incident serves as a clear warning. Municipal governments must take cybersecurity seriously. As threats grow more advanced, protective events and employees training will be essential to protecting public services. Now, let's talk about a little bit dive into how they could have prevented this to happen.